Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel Education Stations. Today I'm going to explain you chapter 6 Animal Classification of class 10th. So before I begin with this video, let you all know that if you are new to this channel, do subscribe. Don't forget to press bell icon to get the latest updates priorly. Now coming back to the video, now let's without wasting your time and my time as well, let's begin with the chapter. The name of this chapter is Animal Classification. Basically, with this title, we are getting that in this chapter, we are going to study something related to animals and classification of animals. So let's see the overview of this chapter. We're going to study history of animal classification, new method, system of animal classification, and kingdom Animalia in this whole chapter. Okay, there is said that can you recall which criteria are used for classification of organisms? I think it was there in your 8th standard classification of living organisms, which was classified by Whittaker, Robert Whittaker. Yes, you have studied the classification of living organisms in earlier classes. The living organisms present around us are mainly plants, animals. We have studied the criteria for the classification. With the help of that, we have to complete this following chart. Okay. Okay. Now, living organisms are classified into prokaryotics, and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are the species or the organisms which are primitive. Primitive means ancient one, okay? Which are very much primitive and which are right now maybe not available or which are not seen yet, okay? And eukaryotes are the modern species, you can say, where nucleus are well defined, and in prokaryotes nucleus are not well defined. In prokaryotes we have studied there is only unicellular organisms, that is kingdom Monera, and in eukaryotes there are unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So unicellular organism is just Protista, kingdom Protista. Now multicellular organisms are further classified as with cell wall and without cell wall. See, in animal cell there is no cell wall, and in plant cell there is a cell wall. Cell wall is nothing but the outer covering of the cell, which is protective covering. Okay, so with cell wall, then multicellular organisms are classified as with cell wall and without cell wall. In without cell wall there is only one kingdom, that is your kingdom Animalia, and in the with cell wall there is further classified as autotrophs and heterotrophs. I think you all know autotrophs. Autotrophs are the species or the organisms which produces their foods by their own, and heterotrophs which are dependent on others. So which are dependent on other are the heterotrophs, and which are which can make their food by their own, that are autotrophics. Okay, now let's study. We have studied the plants classification in last year. Yes, you have studied plant classification in class 9th and the same chapter number 6, I think. Okay, it helps us to understand the diversity of plants around us. Yes, now you must be looking varieties of animals around you. So we have seen a variety of animals in our surroundings, and wherever we can go, wherever we can visit, there we all see variety of animals. Yes, and we can observe that some animals are very much small, or some animals are too big. Some are terrestrial, some are aquatic. The same description is given here. Some can crawl on land, some can swim in water, some can fly in air. Some animals have scales on skin, whereas some have feathers or hairs. So in this way there is a huge diversity among the animals. According to the recent studies, there is approximately 7 million animal species present on the earth. So it is impossible to study each and every species. However, if groups and subgroups of animals are formed depending upon the similarities and differences, it will make it very easy to study such a vast variety of animals. It is a very basic statement for us to understand. Yes. see our capacity to study or to learn various things are very much less. So to study each and everything, we have classified each and every living organisms into several groups and subgroups, to depending upon their similarities and the differences, to make it easy to study and to learn the vast variety of living organisms. Now classification is nothing but the division of living organisms or the species depending upon their similarities and the differences is the classification. Now here as a definition of animal classification is given as formation of groups and subgroups of animals depending upon their similarities and differences among the animals is called as animal classification. Now let's see history of animal classification. Time to time, different scientists have tried to classify the animals. Greek philosopher Aristotle was the first to perform the animal classification. See, as the evolution occurs, as the time goes and goes, with the time, our scientist and our philosopher has the curiosity to know the different varieties of animals and to classify them into their similarities and the differences. So there was a Greek philosopher named as Aristotle who first performed this animal classification. So Aristotle has classified animals on the basis of their body size, habits and habitats. As the new developments in sciences came and references were changed, thereby the criteria of animal classification too changed. So classification proposed by Aristotle is known as artificial method. See, he has considered just the outer body or the whatever artificial body is there. He considered that to classify the animals. So because of that, his classification is known as artificial method of animal classification. Besides Aristotle, artificial method of classification was followed by Theophrastus, Pliny, John Ray, Linnaeus, etc. Later on, natural system of classification was followed. Natural system of classification was based on various criteria like body organization, types of cells, chromosomes, biochemical properties, etc. By the time system of classification based on evolution was also brought into practice, it was used by Dobzin and Muir. Recently, Carl Voice has also proposed the animal classification. So, as I said, by the time as new scientists, new thoughts comes, the variations again starts with the beginning and evolution happens. So, by the time system of classification based on evolution was also brought into the practice, and it was used by the named scientist over here. Now let's see what are the benefits of animal classification. See, study of animals become convenient. Because of this classification, we can study all the animals or the variety of animals conveniently. Study of few animals from a group helps to understand about the entire animal group. So if we are studying a particular group, we can state that the animals which are there in this group all consist the same general characteristics. So we are because of this classification, we get this easy to understand all the characteristics of the entire animal group of the animal classification. It gives idea about animal evolution. By this classification, we get idea about animal evolution. Animals can be easily identified with great accuracy. See, whenever we don't know the characteristics, we cannot identify it or we cannot classify it further. Yes, so with this classification or by this classification method, we can easily identify with great accuracy. It helps to understand the relationship of animals with other living organisms. By this classification, we also understand that there is relationship of animals with other living organisms and how that relationships are there. So we can identify and we can understand it. Then it helps to understand the habitat of each animal and its exact role in the nature. We can also understand the habitat of animals and the exact role in the nature. Then it helps to understand various adaptations shown by animals. Then whatever the adaptations is done or adaptations are taken by the animals we can understand by this classification. Now traditional method of animal classification. Let's study traditional method of animal classification. Traditionally, depending upon presence or absence of the notochord, the animal kingdom has been divided into two groups: non-chordata or non-chordates and chordates. Traditionally, animals are classified into two groups on the basis of the presence and absence of the notochords. That was non-chordates and the chordates. Now let's see non-chordates. Characters of non-chordate animals are as follows. See, non-chordate animal's body is not supported by a rod-like notochord. Pharyngeal gill slits are absent. Nerve cord, if present, it is on ventral side, it is solid and paired. It is on ventral side. What is ventral side? Ventral and dorsal side. Ventral means ऊपर की side और dorsal मतलब नीचे की side. It is solid and paired. Heart if present, it is on dorsal side. Ventral मतलब ऊपर की side और dorsal मतलब नीचे की side. So अगर heart होगा तो वो कहाँ पे होगा? dorsal side होगा. और अगर nerve cord होगा तो वो कहाँ होगा? ventral side होगा. और जो nerve cord है वो कैसा होगा? solid होगा and paired होगा. paired मतलब जोड़ी में होगा. Okay. Non-chordates are divided into 10 phyla. It further divided into 10 phyla. Those phyla are Protozoa, Porifera, Colentrata, Synandria, Helminthes, Ascominthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Chinodermata, and Hemichordata. Okay, so this non-chordatas are classified into these 10 phyla that are shown here. Now let's see what are chordates. So chordates body is supported by notochord. See, we have seen in non-chordates body is not supported by notochord. Pharyngeal gill slits or lungs are present for respiration. In chordates it is present. In non-chordate it was absent. And in here nerve cord is present on the dorsal side of the body. In chordates animals, nerve cord is present in the dorsal side of the body and it is hollow. We have seen in non-chordates there was nerve cord present on the ventral side of the body and it was solid with the paired. And here it is present on the dorsal side of the body and it is hollow. Mark the point, it is hollow. Now heart is present on the ventral side. We have seen in non-chordates heart is present in the dorsal side and in chordates heart is present in the ventral side of the body. Notochord is nothing but a rod-like structure which supports the whole body from the dorsal side of an animal to keep the nerve tissue isolated from the remaining body. See, you can see in this diagram there is notochord here. So this is your dorsal side, this is your ventral side. See, there is nerve cord, there is notochord, there is muscles, there is tall fin, anus, gill slits, mouth. See, mostly these gill slits are now present in the aquatic animals or the fish and somewhat like that. Okay. Now, do you know? All chordate animals are grouped together in a single phylum and the name of phylum is same, that is phylum Chordata. This phylum has been divided into 3 subphyla: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Subphylum Vertebrata has been further divided into 6 classes, that is Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Okay, so we have seen there that Chordata are classified into 10 phyla and this Chordata is grouped together in a single phylum which is named as phylum Chordata, and that phylum is subdivided into 3 subphyla, that was Urochordata, Cephalochordata, and the Vertebrata. Now this Vertebrata has been further divided into 6 classes, that is Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Okay, so this Vertebrata is classified into further sub 6 classes. Okay, now let's see the classification in the concept map. Now, kingdom animal Kingdom Animalia is classified into subkingdoms, that is non-chordata and chordates. Then further these kingdoms are classified into phylum. So this non-chordata are classified into 10 phylums, and this chordata is grouped together in a single phylum that is named as chordata. And further this phylum is classified into 3 subphylum, that is Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. And this Vertebrata is classified into 6 classes, that is Cyclostomata, Pyxis, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, Mammalia. Okay, this is this by just by adding this concept map you can understand whole classification of Kingdom Animalia in the chordates and non-chordates, and their classification into phylums and the classes and subphylums, etc. things. Okay, now let's see further. This system of animal classification was in practice till now. However, nowadays new system of classification is followed. We will study this new system of classification in brief. See, till now this classification was there in practice, but nowadays as there is different research going on, by the time there is further new studies are introduced on the basis of animal classifications in brief. So at see, till now we studied this classification which was based on the 5 kingdom classification, which was classified by Robert Whittaker, and according to him all the multicellular animals are included in the Kingdom Animalia. And this system of classification is based on criteria like body organization, body symmetry, body cavity, germinal layers, segmentation, etc. These all are the criteria on the basis of which Robert Whittaker has classified the living organisms as the animal, and he included all those living organisms into Kingdom Animalia. आज के लिए इतना ही, बस यहीं तक। और फिर से एक बार मैं आपको कह देती हूँ, अगर आप चैनल पे न्यू हो तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करो, वीडियो अगर अच्छा लगा हो तो लाइक करो, अपने दोस्तों से शेयर करो अगर इन्फॉर्मेटिव लग रहा है तो, एंड बेल आइकन को प्रेस करना मत भूलना, क्योंकि जो भी अपडेट्स है वो आपको, अगर आप बेल आइकन प्रेस करते हो तो आपको सबसे पहले मिल जाएगा। सो आज के लिए बस इतना ही, फिर मिलते हैं कल नए वीडियो के साथ और नए टॉपिक्स के साथ। थैंक यू सो मच, हैव अ गुड डे फॉर टुडे।